Waters are fast-moving.
Unlike other big rallies,
A bit earlier at about 7 a.m.
Welcome to #PHVote 2013.
Today on Rappler, a survey says Filipinos think President Aquino did a very good job in 2013. Aquino rejects the resignation of Energy Secretary Petilla. And in Thailand, a fresh wave of violence. Police clash with protesters again. Hello, I'm Maria Ressa. Welcome to Rappler, your social news network. Filipinos give President Benigno Aquino a very good grade of 55 points for his performance this year. A survey by the social weather station says his ratings for 2013 are even slightly higher than his 53 points in 2011 and 2012. He got his highest ratings in 2010, his first year in office, at 62 points. Government's slow response to Typhoon Yolanda, international name Haiyan, did not pull down Aquino's ratings. For the fourth quarter survey conducted December 11 to 16, he got good ratings at 48%. Aquino started the year with 64 points in the first quarter, but this dropped to 59% in the second quarter, 49% in the third quarter, and 48% in the fourth quarter. The average for 2013 is 55%. The president was off to a good start in 2013, routing the opposition in the senatorial May polls. Things turned sour in the third quarter with revelations of the 10 billion peso pork barrel scam. The last quarter was dominated by natural disasters. The fourth quarter survey was conducted after the government stumbled, unable to respond quickly to the massive disaster caused by Typhoon Yolanda. Energy Secretary Jericho Petilla will keep his job after all. In a statement, Malacanang says the president did not accept the resignation of Petilla. Petilla earlier said he will quit after failing on his promise to restore power to Yolanda-hit areas. The statement adds the president is, quote, cognizant of the fact that according to original estimates, it would take 3 to 6 months to restore power in town centers. The president says Petilla's post-Yolanda performance is, in his words, excellent. First, from his original target of 6 months, he was able to restore power in roughly 40 days. Second, within that period, Secretary Petilla was able to energize 317 out of 320 affected towns, leaving 0.93% still to accomplish. A party mate of Aquino, Petilla is former governor of Leyte, which was badly hit by Super Typhoon Haiyan. He was named Energy Secretary in 2012. Still with Energy Secretary Jericho Petilla, he meets with officials of power distributor Meralco and its suppliers to hammer out a compromise on delayed payments. Petilla says the power suppliers should allow Meralco to defer payments after the Supreme Court's order stopping the company from implementing its 4 pesos and 15 centavos per kilowatt hour rate increase. Petilla says nobody took into consideration the effects of the suspension of the rate hike collection on Meralco. What happens if Meralco fails to settle its obligations to the power suppliers and the suppliers stop supplying power to Meralco? This might result in massive brownouts. Petilla says the Department of Energy has to step in to ask the power generators, quote, not to collect from Meralco. Meralco, the biggest power distributor in the country, has some 3.2 million customers, distributing power to most parts of Luzon. The company says it was forced to source power from plants that use more expensive diesel following the shutdown of the Malampaya gas field. Meralco President Oscar Reyes says this forces the power company to collect 9.7 billion pesos from its customers. Antidrug police say they arrested 3 people connected to Mexico's feared Sinaloa drug cartel while they were storing narcotics. The 2 Filipinos and 1 Filipino-Chinese were arrested in a raid on Wednesday in Lipa City after weeks of intelligence operations by Filipino and U.S. anti-narcotics personnel. Officials say 84 kilograms of methamphetamine hydrochloride, popularly known as ice or shabu, as well as 2 firearms were seized in the raid. But Senior Superintendent Bartolome Tobias says the actual members of the Mexican cartel were not there. Quote, we had reports the Mexicans are here and this is the first time we've confirmed that. Tobias did not say how they knew the Sinaloa cartel was involved. The Sinaloa cartel is reputed to be the largest source of illegal drugs to the United States. Its main leader, Joaquin El Chapo Guzman, escaped from a Mexican prison in 2001. He is now America's most wanted drug trafficker. Police arrest an Abu Sayyaf member allegedly behind the kidnapping of 2 European bird watchers from Tawi-Tawi. Philippine National Police spokesperson Ruben Theodore Sindak said Ike Asgali, aka Abu Aswad, was arrested during a joint operation with the military around 5 p.m. on Wednesday. Abu Aswad is said to be a trusted operative of Abu Sayyaf leader Radulan Sahiron. Sources earlier told Rappler Sahiron coordinated with Moro National Liberation Front commander Tahil Sali, one of his relatives, to transfer the 2 Europeans from Tawi-Tawi to Patikul, Sulu. The Europeans, Ewald Horn from the Netherlands and Lorenzo Vinciguerra from Switzerland, were kidnapped while birdwatching in Panglima Sugala, Tawi-Tawi. A third colleague, Filipino guide and photographer Ivan Sarenas, managed to escape. Thai policemen fired tear gas Thursday as they clashed with opposition protesters who stormed a sports stadium in the capital. The protesters are trying to prevent political parties registering for elections. Prime Minister Yingluck Shinawatra faced weeks of mass street rallies seeking to curb her family's political dominance and install an unelected People's Council to oversee electoral reforms. Officials say demonstrators used a truck to smash through the gates of a stadium where representatives of about 30 political parties were signing up for the February 2 election. The Deputy Prime Minister says protesters are not peaceful and unarmed as they claimed. He adds they're intimidating officials and trespassing in government buildings. Thailand is going through rounds of political turmoil since Yingluck's older brother, Thaksin Shinawatra, was ousted as premier in a military coup in 2006. Nationalist Prime Minister Shinzo Abe pays an inflammatory visit to the Yasukuni War Shrine Thursday. The visit angers China, which accuses Japan of whitewashing a history of warmongering and says it must bear the consequences. Seoul also blasts the, quote, anachronistic move, and Tokyo's chief ally, the United States, declares itself disappointed with an act that will, quote, exacerbate tensions with Japan's neighbors. Yasukuni Shrine is the believed repository of around 2.5 million souls of Japan's war dead, most of them common soldiers, but also including several high-level officials executed for war crimes after World War II. Abe describes his visit as a pledge against war. He says, "It is not my intention at all to hurt the feelings of the Chinese and Korean people. It's my wish to respect each other's character, protect freedom and democracy, and build friendship with China and Korea with respect." The visit comes exactly a year after he took power, a period in which he has yet to formally meet China's President Xi Jinping or Korea's President Park Geun-hye. Ties with Beijing were bad before Abe took office, with the two countries crossing diplomatic swords over the ownership of uninhabited islands in the East China Sea. Let's now look at Rapplers Wrap for today, a list of the 10 most important events around the world you shouldn't miss. At number 4, the United Nations on Wednesday says aid agencies will need $166 million over the next 3 months to help South Sudan. The newest democracy in the world is caught in violence between 2 warring ethnic groups. Thousands were killed since December 15th after President Salva Kiir accused his former vice president, Riek Machar, of trying to overthrow him in a coup. Machar counters by accusing the president of purging his rivals. The violence displaced at least 90,000 people in the past 10 days. At number 6, Turkish Prime Minister Recep Tayyip Erdogan reshuffles nearly half his cabinet after a graft scandal forced the resignation of ministers and threatened his hold on power. Investigations into the alleged corruption focuses on bribes involving construction projects and the illegal smuggling of gold into Iran. Erdogan says the corruption scandal was part of a conspiracy plotted by, in his words, international powers, and insisted that his party has a clean record. At number 7, the Egyptian government declares the Muslim Brotherhood a terrorist group. The group supported the presidential candidacy of Mohamed Morsi, who was ousted in July. This came after a suicide bombing attack on police headquarters killed 15 and wounded more than 100. The Muslim Brotherhood denies responsibility for the attack. A leader of the group, who's in exile in London, says the decision of the military-backed interim government was, in his words, illegitimate, and protests will continue. And at number 9, Chinese authorities discover a tunnel in Shenzhen that runs under a river and ends in Hong Kong. Believed to be built by smugglers, it was discovered after a woman complained about drilling noises. A man was arrested and the tunnel destroyed on December 24th. For the full top 10, visit Rappler.com's The Wrap. Dubai promises to celebrate New Year's Eve with a record-breaking extravaganza featuring more than 400,000 fireworks, what it says is the largest display the world has ever seen. The United Arab Emirates city-state, home to the world's tallest tower, will, quote, break the Guinness World Record for the largest fireworks display. The 6-minute show will be overseen by 200 pyrotechnicians, launched from 400 locations. Every story on Rappler has a mood meter, which gives you 8 emotions to choose from. Click how you feel and your vote comes down to the mood navigator in the middle of the front page that crowdsources the mood of the day. It also gives you the top 10 stories that have affected our readers and the viewers most emotionally. If you take a look, these 10 stories have gotten the most number of votes. Today's story, this just came out, the SWS survey, very good grade for Aquino in 2013. Interestingly, you have 60% happy, but 21% annoyed and 9% angry. That read, picking up the story that's gotten the most number of votes in the last 24 hours. Indonesian official fails to get on a flight, shuts down airport in revenge. You have 13% annoyed, 13% amused, and a whopping 68% angry. That read, pulling out to the mood of the day. Today, most people are angry. Well, that is Rappler's Newscast for today, Thursday, December 26, 2013. Visit Rappler.com and watch our newscast Monday to Friday. Tell us how you feel on our mood meter and help us crowdsource the mood of the day. I'm Maria Ressa. As we say at Rappler, tomorrow begins today.